We have our music too. When the drum machine stops, he may hear a song more beautiful than breasts. It will sing to him of good credit scores and the ability to laugh at the same joke for 30 years. Running out into the street wild-eyed and searching, he will grab the first 170-pound short girl with high GRE scores, a reliable friend, and kiss her like he's done E all night. She's the last thing he wants to remember before the serotonin wears off. Her touch to carry him through the ensuing blues with understanding eyes and open-ended questions. She makes everything about him ring the sweetest, clearest notes. That poem originally appeared in Women Arts Quarterly in the fall of 2012, and it includes one of my favorite line breaks in a poem of my own, which is in the last stanza, where it says, she makes everything about him ring the sweetest, clearest notes. And at that time, it came out in 2012, but I'm pretty sure I wrote it a few years previous to that, a few years before that. And so I was kind of mid-30s and was having this sort of realization. I know mid-30s is a little late to have this realization, but that a lot of media and poetry and art, culture, entertainment, everything structured women as objects of men's desires. Yes, it was. I had a master's degree, and I think I was working on my second master's degree at the time, and I was in my maybe it was in my early 30s, maybe in my early 30s. Let's give myself a little bit more credit. But the things that people are sort of that kids are recognizing now in like middle school and high school, I was in my early 30s. So I think I mean I did recognize it to an extent, but I think it was hitting harder, it was hitting differently when I was in my 30s. Uh yeah, I think it's that it was hitting differently for various reasons. And so I was feeling sort of surrounded by all these beautiful women, right? I was surrounded by just beautiful, accomplished, wonderful women. And they were getting a lot of attention, sometimes just for their beauty, which I think was probably very frustrating for them. But also for me, where I was and how I was feeling at the time, I was kind of fucked up. Not mince words. I was not mentally in a very stable place, though my instability looks different than other people's instability. And so it doesn't necessarily look what other people like. People would be like, yeah, that's fine. But like, didn't necessarily feel fine. Because my addiction of choice was always achievement. And I feel like I've been in withdrawal from that for probably the past 5 years, ever since I left academia. I've been in achievement addiction withdrawal, which I know it's different than chemical. There's lots out there about the differences and different terminology, and so you can go find those videos. That's fine. But also feel free to talk about your own definitions in the comments below. That's what comments are there for, right? That you can respond to the dumbass things I say. You can put something in the comments below about it. What was I saying before I started to say that? I was not in a good place. And I think I was feeling, I think I was reading Keats, right? There's some Keats allusions in that poem, the time, and reading a lot of male poets and what they were saying about women and stuff. And I just thought, well, what the fuck about women like me? And somebody write some poems about me. Why is no one writing a poem about responsible me? And yeah, I was like 170 when I wrote that poem. Yeah, it must have been, you know what? It was during my second master's program if I was 170 pounds. That's how I know. But I also wasn't eating. I was working out 4 hours a day. It actually got worse once I started my PhD program. So maybe I wasn't working out 4 hours a day at the time, But I certainly was when I got to my PhD program. I would walk 45 minutes to work campus. I would swim an hour while I was there. I would walk 45 minutes home, and I'd go to yoga. Like, oh my God. That wasn't every day, but it was, yeah. Anyway, so that's how I know if I was only 170, that was not stability. But maybe someday it won't be an indicator that I'm over exercising and not eating at all. I mean, I was eating, but I was not eating much. I was eating like 500 calories. That is not what I was going to talk about. Yeah. My point was, I wasn't finding any poems about women like me. Where were the women like me in people's fucking love poems? Somebody write a love poem to me, to a woman like me who gets her shit done, right? I'm gonna balance the budget. I'm gonna make you a spreadsheet, right? Like, that's what I am. I'm that kind of woman. And there were no love poems that I was finding. But hey, if you like poetry and you know about poems that are about that, put those down in the comments, because I would legitimately like to know about those poems. Anyway, so I decided, well, I was just going to have to write my own damn poem. Nobody else was writing love poems to me. I could write a love poem to myself. Yes, that's my love poem to me. And also kind of a jab at guys that were being assholes. Now, also to note that at the time I would have written this poem, I would have been married for 10 years. And that's another level of, oh, little brain. Little brain had so much trouble for some years there. And by some years, I think I mean 35, 25, something like that. Doesn't matter how fast you get your brain in gear. Matters that you do it. But also get in gear. That was bad language. You know what? If I wrote a script, I'd be better about that. I'd have better words for that. But I don't write scripts because I like to keep this fun. It's always got to be fun for me. If it's not fun, I'm not going to do it. That's part of my getting over my achievement addiction. If I start to make scripts, I feel like that's like a step towards being like, okay, this has got to be really good. Okay, ooh, we got to get lots of subscribers. Like, I am trying to get more subscribers, and I'm going to be reaching out to friends over the next few months to try to get more subscribers, but not because I'm looking for like, ooh, maybe I can monetize, because I don't ever want to monetize this channel. Please remind me I said that if I ever do that. If I ever start to monetize, I'd be like, didn't you say you're never going to do that? I'd be like, oh yeah, you're right. But I just want to get my poetry out to more people, because maybe there are some other folks out there who want to have love poems to women who can balance the budget and stuff like that with their good credit scores and their high GRE scores. I love you, women. Yeah, it's a love poem, little love poem for those of us who sometimes don't get them. Okay, that's what I got tonight. So please feel free to like if you liked it. If you didn't like it, why did you watch this far? I don't understand you. Why did you watch this far if you didn't like it? Also, remember to subscribe. It's the easiest way to make sure that you know when I've got a new video coming out. Also, it makes me feel good to like see the number and go, oh, look, I have a new subscriber. Yay! Thanks for stopping by.